And will this be a fully exclusive 45-day theatrical window?
Fully exclusive to theaters, yes.
And will this be self-enforced? In other words, if you fall short of that?
That is the industry. It is the industry standard for self-enforcement. However, routinely, movies that underperform, the window moves a little bit. And Superman was a little shorter window, and Sinners was a little longer window, but they still could refer to it as a 45-day window.
Nerdrotic.com.
He just fucking said it. Superman had a shorter window because it was underperforming. Period. End of story. There's no way around it. And maybe it made more money on VOD. I have no fucking idea because we've seen zero real numbers on that. But the fact of the matter was it was underperforming in the theater. That's why it went on to VOD in 25 days.
It's so ironic that Ted Sarandos could be James Gunn's boss after having said that. I see a lot of things Gunn's announced and all this. I see your vision for DC. I don't like it and don't care. Everything is being guardianized. Like, what do you think Batman's going to be? It's going to be a million Batman characters, his sons, Robin, I'm sure Batgirl. He has mentioned Batmite almost every time Batman comes up.
I talked to Matt Reeves yesterday. I'll talk to him again today. I'm like, how about Batmite? Matt's going to love that idea.
Yeah. Which was a stupid character in the cartoons in the 70s, which you may or may not remember, Gary, but I do.
Oh, I remember Batmite.
Batmite is dumb.
And I remember the whole, Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams were actually technically doing it first. But when Frank Miller came in and tried to bring back, Batman as balls, it was to get away from Batmites and Bat families and all the goofy shit from the 60s. Andy Muschietti was supposed to direct the Batman movie, and the only person worse would be James Gunn.
Is he talking about doing it now?
There's rumors that he might direct it. I don't know. I have no faith in a James Gunn Batman movie, like zero. James Gunn can direct Doom Patrol. That is perfect for James Gunn.
That's in his wheelhouse.
Yep.
It's in his wheelhouse. But everything else there's a sameness about it. And I would argue that he peaked with the first Guardian movie.
I don't even think that's controversial anymore. No.
Look at everything he has done since the first Guardians was a surprise. It was different from what Marvel was doing. The inclusion of the pop music soundtrack retro stuff was a great playlist. Now the James Gunn playlist is a piece of marketing for all his movies, and they're not that good.
No.
I listened to all the different playlists. James Gunn, whether you're aware or not, he created playlists for every character. So he created like a Jimmy Olsen playlist, and then he gave it to the actor who played Jimmy Olsen. Spotify featured these playlists on Spotify of every Lois Lane, Clark Kent, and Superman. Clark Kent and Superman had different playlists.
There was no character. He spent more time making playlists for a character than building up Jimmy Olsen's character.
Yeah.
He's a chick magnet. And?
Yeah.
Like, what else is he? We didn't get any buildup of any character. There's no through line of any character. Superman is like, it's the middle part of a movie. It doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't really have an end. It's just like you took a chunk of a movie and put it out. It's really bizarre. And the defense of it was really bizarre. I mean, if you like it, you like it. But man, there's people defending it like their mother worked on it.
Well, if you go back and watch it, it does not hold up.
Oh, God, no.
I remember at the time thinking, this feels like TV. This is not a movie. This is TV. What made them think this is a movie, a story that needed to be told? And also, I hate the lore that Jor-El is this Kryptonian supremacist. I hate it with all the fiber of my
X-Ray
being.
Girl, find the tweets where James Gunn is criticizing Batman 89 and Batman Begins. Just you could
the resurfacing.
They're resurfacing.
But I like that he was honest. I mean, also, I'll critique Batman 89. I
will too, but I won't say it's shit. Like Batman Returns is a better movie than Batman. It is. The editing of Batman is the only thing I really have a criticism of. It's
very slow.
It's
very
sloggy, and the transitions are just abrupt. You know, like a scene doesn't, they're supposed to like kind of move into each other, be seamless. And it's just like chunk, here's next scene, chunk, here's next scene. But still aesthetically fucking cool as shit. What he did with Gotham and making it timeless. Like you couldn't, like, is it the 80s or is it the 30s or is it the 80s, 30s?
Yeah.
I kind of like that a lot.
I liked it too.
Yeah. The Tim Burton Batman is poorly written. The soundtrack is the worst work of everyone involved. And it is absolutely one of the most boring films ever. Not only that, but the reveal of the Joker as the killer of Bruce Wayne's parents spits on the face of Batman's origin. Keep that in mind. Keep that one in mind. Spits in the face of Batman's origin by having Jack Napier be the killer of his parents. It spits on the spirit of the origin, Chris.
Yeah. I wonder.
It spits on the parents of a superhero and is a nullification of the bottomless thirst for vengeance that necessarily drives Batman. It pretends not to be campy, but it is completely so. And on top of everything, the dark creature of the night can't even move his fucking neck. Give me a fucking break. It's a ridiculous, awful film. Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes is genius in comparison. I would disagree.
Did James Gunn probably said that when he was making indie movies.
He probably was, but like, okay, let's just start with dissing fucking Danny Elfman's soundtrack on that is objectively retarded.
They still use that music.
It is one of the most iconic themes, period. End of story, period. Now, is Danny Elfman as melodic as Jerry Goldsmith or John Williams? No, he's not. He's pretty hyperactive with his soundtracks, but he's really good with themes. And he also composed Nightmare Before Christmas, which arguably is a machine by itself, right? But he's also composed a bunch of themes that are memorable. Batman being the most. James Gunn wouldn't be making his crappy version of Superman if it wasn't for Tim Burton. And James Gunn deserves all the criticism in the world. If he can dish it out, he can take it. And I will say, Tim Burton's Batman is better than James Gunn's Superman by orders of magnitude. It'll be more memorable. It was more of a cultural phenomenon. His Superman will be looked at as possibly the worst. I know it's arguable. Superman Returns is down there too, but at least Superman Returns has a memorable Superman scene.
Look, Man of Steel, better than Gunn's Superman. Yes?
Yes. Like, yeah, completely yes.
Yeah.
Like, not even close.
Yeah.
I think he would be doing better if he was a little more humble. All this shit like really went to his head. Like his ego is completely fucking out of control. If he'd remained a little more humble as a filmmaker, he would probably be open to other ideas and maybe he would have evolved a little more, but he got stuck in his James Gunn-ness. I have problems with both Nolan's films. I don't think either one is classic. And I don't even really think Batman Begins is good despite being the first cinematic dark take on Batman. So what? Stallone's Judge Dredd was the first dark take on Judge Dredd. The movie is awful. You don't consider The Dark Knight a classic? Really? Okay.
That movie blew our minds. I think a lot of it was the marketing. The trailers only showed footage from the first half of the film. We knew nothing about what was going to happen in the second half. There wasn't a shot.
What I want to bring up is, okay, so he's that critical of Burton's Batman and more importantly of Nolan's Dark Knight, and Batman Begins is fucking great.
I love that film.
Hate the costume, but it's great. What does he think of Matt Reeves' Batman? Really, truly.
Well, even with its flaws, it's better than Superman.
But what do you think, knowing what James Gunn thinks of The Dark Knight, what does James Gunn really think about the Batman? You know he fucking hates it. You know he hates it.
He hates it, and part of the reason he hates it, he didn't make it.
Yeah.
He didn't get to do it. And it's caused a problem for his DCU. You know, I always thought that what DC should have done, stop trying to catch up to Marvel. What DC should have done, make the Justice League movie. Do it backwards. Marvel did a great job building up. Wait. Let me pitch here.
Okay.
They built up with individual Thor film, Iron Man, Captain America. They built up with all these individual films to build to an Avengers. Just start with Justice League and then go backwards, tell your origin stories or single character films. You could have done that.
I disagree because you need to build up to the team and it needs to mean something. And if you start with it, you're just kind of and it doesn't have the impact.
Sure.
It's okay to do something the same as another studio if it fucking works. Just make a good Superman movie. Yeah. All of his concentration should have gone into making a good Superman movie. It didn't. He introduced too many characters. He had a bigger universe in mind. He was mapping out all these things, and he wasn't concentrating on making a good Superman movie with Superman and a bad guy and introducing the surrounding cast of characters of Superman and building up the world a little bit, letting us know like what Metropolis is really like.
The production design of Superman is weak, and it steals from other Superman
DC
movies.
is not Earth. Make it different. It's a fantasy world. It's a complete fantasy world. In JLA Avengers, they established that the Earth of DC is slightly larger than the Earth of 616 Marvel.
God, I miss when we were just picking apart the costume. Remember the Superman, the first trailer dropped and stills, and we're like, the costume doesn't look that good. And then the movie comes out and it's like, yeah, that was a sign. That was a sign that other things were an issue. Gunn's pretty loyal because he hires the same people, but he really missed the mark on this film. And who knows what the budget really was. When he says it wasn't as reported, I'll bet there's somewhere between. There's a truth in between.
Yeah. I do not think, despite our title, that Superman was this massive flop. Do I think it eked out a profit on VOD? Sure. Yeah. But not one big enough to justify the spending.
Yeah.
And I think they were gaslighting the fuck out of this movie because Zaslav all along had this plan to put Warner Brothers up for sale to either bump up the stock and not sell it at all or sell it and make him and the other executives and maybe the shareholders a lot of money because it has bumped up the stock. If Paramount doesn't get it and Netflix doesn't get it.
Oh, that could happen.
Crashes. It absolutely crashes. Netflix needs it because Netflix has kind of reached maturity and they know it and they need consistent IP, which they do not have.
It reached the cap, the market cap for Netflix. You're right. The IP, that's what they're missing. That's the other part of the Infinity Stones for Ted Sarandos.
You know, and this whole fake it till you make it thing shouldn't happen in an industry that's 100 years old. So lying to yourself about Warner Brothers lying to itself about Superman and lying to the public, what fucking good does that do you in the long run? Because you know the truth. And we've had to see this over and over again. Paramount sticking with Star Trek. It's shit. And they fucking know it, but they're going to go, it was a success. You're lying to yourself and you know it. Like, ultimately, you lose.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.